Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live, Laugh, Love, Life. I hope you all are having a fabulous week. If you're new here, my name is Clara, and every week I talk about a topic that I feel like talking about, and I put the episodes out every Wednesday. So if you like this one, you can come back next week for a new one. Now, I have my handy dandy notebook, as I always do. This week, I'm going to be talking about high school because I'm a senior. It's been a journey. It's almost over. And I figured I'd wait until end of September while everyone's settled in. Now, I've had a pretty interesting high school experience. Lots of things have happened. I've been in a lot of different places mentally. So, we're going to start by going down memory lane, and I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about each year of high school that I've been through. So, starting off with ninth grade, um, quick note before we get started, actually, I feel like this needs context from middle school leading up to how I started my freshman year. So, 2020 was COVID. The lockdown happened when I was in sixth grade, and then the next year in seventh grade, I did a full year online. So, eighth grade was my first year after COVID, like a year and a half back fully in person with a group of kids at my school. And then ninth grade, I started going to the public high school that is for the town that I live in, but it's in a different town. So, the high school I go to feeds like three different areas, I guess you could say. So, obviously, the town that it's in, which is bigger, my town, which is right next to it and much smaller. And then they also have a Metco program, which means that I think it means that kids from the city that we live outside of can choose to come to our school instead of going to a public school in the city, I think. I'm not certain. So that's sort of the layout. So I'm coming off of my first year back fully in person after being fully online for a year and a half. Going into freshman year, I didn't have many stable friendships established because, as I said, I came back from a year and a half of fully online the year before. So, eighth grade was really just me figuring out how to be a human being again and how to interact properly with other human beings. So, that was not great, but that's a totally different story. So, going into ninth grade, I'm very concerned about making friends. Also, because my town is much smaller, so the majority of the population of our school is from the bigger town that the school is in. Because of that, I was worried that most of the kids at the school would already have like friends from their sports teams, their elementary school, their middle school, because they were just all coming from the same place in such bigger numbers than we were. My entire grade at my middle school was like 80 kids, just shy of 80 kids, so not that big by any means. And the other big note that I have to put in here is that I had a lot of mental health struggles going into freshman year that were undiagnosed. So now I am diagnosed with both OCD and anxiety disorder. But going into my freshman year, I did not know that I had these things. So that made for a very turbulent fall semester, we'll just say. Thankfully, I did have a couple friends who told me, like, hey, Clara, might be a good idea for you to go to therapy. And so I asked my parents to go to therapy, and I went to therapy, and that helped me a lot. But I will do whole other episodes on my mental health disorders. That's a different topic. But it was one of the defining features of my ninth grade year, so I feel like it's important to share. So, because of my mental health issues, my academics did suffer a little bit, but my social life suffered a lot more. I've said this before, but I'm pretty introverted. I very rarely am one to initiate a hangout and like ask to make plans. I sort of just like sit back, and I'm also not the most approachable person, we'll say. And I don't mean to be like cold or rude or anything like that, but I'm just so shy and anxious and socially awkward that sometimes when, new people try to interact with me, I just freeze up and I can't make eye contact. I speak very quietly or just very sort of shortly and like no elaboration. There's no question asking going on, no interest being shown on my face. I'm just like, oh my God, somebody's talking to me. I probably look like an idiot, which, yeah, but like that's not the end of the world. So, you guys, the other thing that I have to add about this whole making friends social thing is my school did this thing, and they still do it, called Ninth Grade Academy. So they would split the grade into 4 cohorts. They called them tree teams. So I was on the Willow team. Yay, go Willow. I made absolutely no friends in that team. Anyway, how the cohorts worked, as you might assume, how the cohorts worked is they'd put you in these cohorts, and then you would only have your core classes with other people in your cohort. So if you were like me and my luck and didn't get any friends in your cohort, and by none, I mean none, 0. I didn't have many going in to begin with. Very few strong friendships that were going to withstand the pushes and pulls of the high school social life. But none in my tree team. So bad start. So that meant that my only chances to have classes with my friends were my language class. I took French. Shout out le français. Shout out French class. I also had gym and chorus, which I still take. Shout out chorus. Love ya. So I did have, I think, like one person I knew in my chorus class and none in my gym class, I don't think, or maybe one in my gym class actually, and my like directed studies, and I knew a couple people in my lunch. My 2 lunch friends really saved me, honestly, in 9th grade. So, who you eat your lunch with, that matters a lot because lunchtime is like your debrief time. It's your free time. It's the one time where you can just release everything from the day. At least in my experience, it was. You have to just find people to eat lunch with. This is so important. People to eat lunch with where it feels like you can just be yourself and there's nobody else in the room. Even though the cafeteria is so loud, like there's so many smells, so many noises, like so many people, so much going on. But when I sat with the 2 friends that I'm talking about, it really did just feel like I could share anything that was going on in my life and nothing else mattered. So that was really, really, really important for me to find. Don't let that fool you. 9th grade still sucked. I did not really make the friends that I wanted to. I can't say expected because here's another thing I wanted to say. My high school experience really taught me that your life is what you make it. So in 9th grade, I was very closed off. I was very just in my own head, not open to creating new relationships with any people. I have friends now who tried to be friends with me in 9th grade, were actively like trying to make conversation, trying to like ask for my phone number, trying to like be nice and talk to me, and the walls were up here. Like it was a no-go for them. And I really appreciate that they stuck around and kept trying until I finally let them in. But 9th grade, there was no hope for me to make friends. I do have this funny story. I had this little crush on this girl that I am now friends with. We're all good, but this is so embarrassing for me. We were in class, my math class, and I was like, okay, this is my chance. I'm gonna ask for her phone number. And this was like first couple weeks of school. This was my first like attempt at trying to branch out and make new friends, things like that. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And the reason I asked for her phone number, I did not have any social media. That was another thing that I'll get to. High school and the social life relies so much on social media now. If you don't have social media, it is so much harder to make new friends and new connections. It is just another like obstacle for people who don't want that stuff. And that was another thing that made making friends more difficult for me. But anyway, I was like, hey, like, can I get your phone number? Like, I wasn't even asking in like oh, can we like go on a date? Even though I had a crush on her, I just wanted to be friends. I just wanted to be friends. There were so many new people. I had like 10 crushes at the same time, and they were all just like little, and none of them I was gonna act on. None of them. And you know that if you watched my first episode, I said I've never dated anyone, I've never kissed anyone. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's just that simple. So I I asked her, I was like, "Hey, can I like get your phone number?" She goes, she was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, my parents don't let me give out my phone number." And she was like, "But do you have Snapchat?" Like, I have a Snapchat. And I was like, "No, I don't have Snapchat." And so we're just sort of there like, "Well, this is awkward. I can't communicate with you the way that works for me, and you can't communicate with me the way that works for you. Guess we can't communicate." Like, and I don't think we really talked for the rest of the year. I can't lie. So that experience really discouraged me, I'd say, from trying to make other friends. And I did sort of make, I don't know, what you might call like survival friends, like just to have someone in class to like partner up with or sit next to, etc. But we weren't really like, oh, hang out outside of school friends or even sit with you at lunch friends. They were just sort of like your in class person that you go to. And some of the like survival friends that I made in ninth grade, I don't even really like them now. So there's that. You do what you gotta do in freshman year. Like, it's rough out there. So, yeah, that happened. And I just didn't really open myself up very much for the rest of the year. Like, I definitely made some progress, but I wouldn't really say that I had any new friends until like the next year. And I definitely got closer with two of the girls I ate lunch with for sure, and we're still friends to this day. That is like, I swear, guys, if you're having a tough time, find two other people who are also having a tough time, and it it works out so well. Trust me. I mean, we were all like going through it. But we had each other. We were going through it together for less than 1 hour a day, but still, it was better than nothing. So I did definitely luck out in a way with my lunch buddies. There's another story there, but I don't think it's ready for the internet. There were some other people that also sat with us, but I'm not going to cause drama. So we're going to move on. Yeah, I also want to mention ninth grade, I did try to join some like clubs and sports and stuff like that. So I joined the French club. Awful. Sorry, I was just so shy and I didn't expect them to like actually speak French in French club. I don't know if that was like just me. I thought we were just gonna like eat French food and like have fun. And I shouldn't say I didn't expect them to speak French. I did, but it was just like they only spoke French, and like I was too scared to speak French. Like I was so shy, and I was like, "Oh my God, everyone's going to think my French is horrible. I can't be here." So after the fall, I just plain stopped going. Oops, sorry. And then the other thing I did, I joined a winter sport, a varsity sport. Yeah. I am not an athlete. If you guys didn't know, I'm not an athlete. It's just I'm not. I'm a skier. I guess that's athletic, but I don't really consider myself to be an athlete. But a little backstory for this. First of all, the sport I joined was swim. The reason it was varsity was because there was only one pool and one like set of lanes to practice in. We had that swim team is huge, you guys. It's like 100 kids. It's freaking crazy. It's wild. And we were very blessed and lucky to have a pool, an indoor pool, super close to campus. Like technically we like share a campus with the like pool and fitness center that we have. It's like across the street, but it's not a street. It's like just the driveway that like goes in and out. So, anyway, first of all, we're super lucky to just have that there. And I actually used to be on the swim team at this swim center that was basically right next to the high school. I quit because I was bullied by a girl who was 4 years older than me. I was 8, she was 12. I had been on the team since I was like 5 because I did their 6 and under swim team. I was a swimmer. Like, we had practice multiple times a week, we had meets like every weekend. I was a swimmer. And I was a pretty good swimmer too. Like, I was winning races. Like, I've won some races in my time, you guys. So there was that whole thing, and the bullying got bad enough that I did, in fact, quit. And I still, like, when I smell the chlorine smell, like, it makes me nauseous. But I thought, it's been a long time. I actually had a dream that I was swimming in that building again. And I woke up, I was like, what the hell? I would never do that. Like, I'm never stepping foot in there again. Then I start high school. Everyone's talking about this swim team. This friend that I made, I mean, we weren't that close yet. But this girl that I knew in my chorus class, we stood next to each other. We sang in the same section. So, I mean, you're going to get to know people like that. So, that was nice that I had her. But she was also a swimmer. Well, I won't call myself a swimmer. She was a swimmer and she was going to join the swim team. I was like, okay, I know someone who's going to join the swim team. I actually knew like 2 or 3 people. One of the seniors from the French club was on the swim team. Actually, a couple of them were. So I talked to them about it. I was like, hey, like, do you think I could join the swim team? What's it like? Like, how are tryouts? Blah, blah, blah. There are no cuts on the swim team. You guys, best believe I was the worst one on that team. I mean, the worst one out of 100 kids. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Out of 100 kids, I was maybe second worst only because some of the other people were injured. So they were put in like the slowest lane, or people had like medical problems, like migraines, where they had to get in and out and in and out. But I was the worst person who like could physically swim at all times. I was the worst. So that played a really big part in my ninth grade year as well, because I went into it thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to overcome my fear. I'm going to take back my power from this bullying girl that made me quit my best sport when I was younger. That did not happen. So this is so funny, you guys. During our tryouts weren't necessarily for cuts, they were just to place people in lanes. So it was like the slowest lane to the fastest lane. And they would make like modifications to the drills and stuff depending on what lane you were. They had us doing like stuff, you guys. So if you're like not at the varsity level and you choose to do a varsity sport because there's no cuts, I think swim is like the only thing that would do that. It's not for the weak because you have the same level of commitment as a varsity sport, even though you are not on their level whatsoever. You're surrounded by these people that are way better than you. You're surrounded by coaches who expect the physically impossible for somebody like me. And it's just wild. The practices are so intense. The schedule is insane. It's every day, 2 hours every week. And if you're an athlete that's like actually an athlete and you're listening to this, you're like, yeah, that's how sports are. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just wanted to swim. Like, I just wanted to get over my fear. I just wanted to take back my power from my childhood bully. I didn't sign up for this. Like, I did. I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I also did not know what I was getting into, and it was bad. Like, I grew a lot that year because I mean, it was just absolutely wild. But anyways, at tryouts, we're at the very end and they're timing us. I think it was just for like a 100. So that's there and back in the pool that we were in. And it was the very end. So we've been going for 2 hours and they've been making us do stuff that I was not prepared for. I'm in like the worst shape of my life and I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, this is crazy. So they time us, and I'm like waiting to be last because I'm trying to catch my breath and recover so I can actually try and do my best going back and forth twice. When I tell you guys, I was so exhausted and so out of shape and so not prepared for this that I dive in like you do with, the other people. They all finished before me. I've done like their back there. So tired that when I start coming back it's the last stretch. I am so close. And by this time, like there's no hope of me getting a good time. Like that is out the window. My time is like a minute plus. A minute to go there and back and there and back, you guys. Oh my goodness. When I think about this, it just makes me laugh now. But I was so exhausted. I had to physically stop swimming in the middle of the lane, just in the middle. And I just had to like tread water to give myself a second. When I tell you guys, whole team out of the pool, waiting to go home. I'm the last one in the water. This is the last thing that we have to do before we can all go home. I told you, 100 kids. Imagine 100 kids standing on the pool deck, all watching you. They're all standing there watching me, and they start clapping and cheering for me, and they're like, let's go, Clara, you got this. Well, most of them don't have no clue who I am. I'm this like little freshman girl who's like the slower than they even thought was possible. And I can see some of them were definitely like, wait, what's her name? Oh, okay, go Clara, go Clara. Oh my gosh. And I mean, I had no choice. I wasn't gonna be in the pool forever, so I had to go Clara myself all the way to the end. I could not get out. Of course, I couldn't get out. They're all watching me. My arms are like spaghetti. I cannot physically pull myself out of the pool. I'm pretty sure somebody had to help me get out of the pool, you guys. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding, bro. I did not even expect to tell that story. That just like came up in my head. So, swim was a staple of my freshman year. I don't really know how to describe it besides it really challenged me for sure. It pushed me to my limits physically and mentally. So that was good. Socially, it didn't really help me at all. Nobody wants to be friends with the slowest kid on the team. That is so embarrassing, obviously. I wouldn't mind, but I was the slowest kid and no one wanted to be friends with me. I can guarantee you that. after what they saw first day. Oh, no one's going near me. Don't touch her. You might catch it. You might catch the slowness. So that happened. The last thing I'll say about ninth grade is not only did I mentally have a lot of issues, physically, I got every disease under the sun. I'd never been in a school this big, first of all. I also have a crappy immune system. I'm in this huge school, biggest school I've ever been in, most people, so exposed to a lot of new people. I was very isolated in my other school, like I said, class of 80 kids. So each class you have like less than 20 kids in each classroom. So I'm not being exposed to that much. But now we have 1,000+ like 1,000+ students in this one building. And I'm just being exposed to way more people than I was before. And I'm also super stressed, sleep deprived because, hello, high school. So I caught so many illnesses. I actually am pretty sure I have a note on my phone, like in my notes, that has all of my sicknesses that I got. So I'm gonna grab my phone and like come back and share those. Okay, guys. So I got my phone. I'm gonna go to my notes and I'm gonna see if I can find the note that I made because it was just so crazy. I had, I think, 23 absences that year. It was like ridiculous how many absences I had. Where is it? Sick list. Here we go. Okay. I had a cold 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and those are like bad colds that like kept me out of school. Mono. Yeah, I had mono. Remember how I said I never kissed anyone? I got mono from somebody who I'm pretty sure drank out of my water bottle without permission because I have never traded saliva with another human being in my life. Okay? So, the only way I could possibly think, and I don't share my drinks anymore. Oh, no, because having mono was one of the worst experiences of my life, guys. It is no joke. I was like borderline hallucinating some of the time. It was absolutely insane. So I had mono, I had pink eye, I had strep, and I had this fun, lovely thing called parotitis. So that's the name that they told me at the hospital. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. That's just the name I remember them calling it. But basically, it was just like my salivary gland, I guess. I don't know. I'm taking anatomy right now, so I'll get back to you guys on that at a later date once I learn about it. But I think it was my salivary gland. One of them was blocked, I guess, and puffed up. I swear to God. It was crazy. And it hurt so badly. I could not really open my mouth to eat. Like, I could open my mouth, but it hurt so bad. I could only do it like a little bit and for a certain number of times before it was like excruciating pain. I don't know why. I cannot explain it to you. It wasn't something that kept me from school besides the day that my mom and I had to go to the hospital and get like a scan to make sure it wasn't stones or a tumor or something because we had absolutely no clue what was going on. It like exploded overnight. And I will put a picture at the end. I'm not scared. I have no shame. So if you want to laugh, I'll put a picture at the end. I'll post it. I'll post it everywhere. You guys can all see what parotitis looks like. It's not fun. So I had that. It didn't keep me from school, and I had it at the same time as I had strep, along with pink eye. And the thing is, you take the antibiotics for a certain amount of time, and then they're like, okay, you're good. You're not contagious anymore. You can go back to school. And of course, my parents are like, you've been missing so much school. You have to go. But I'm like a freaking disaster. So that was the other defining thing in my freshman year was getting sick. I'm also pretty sure I had pink eye multiple times. And when I get pink eye in one eye, I get it in the other eye. So I had double pink eye multiple times, I'm pretty sure. So that was super fun, just like the best. But yeah, that's ninth grade. So moving on, the other grades were a lot better. So I'm probably going to breeze through them quicker because ninth grade was just crazy. So 10th grade, we're no longer in our cohorts, so we had a lot more freedom. I was in classes with a bigger mix of people, which did mean I also got sick a lot in 10th grade, not nearly as much as ninth grade, but still more than I would have liked to. I think I got my absences down from 23 to 18. Guys, really try not to miss school. It sucks because in high school, it is so hard to catch up when you've missed days. And when I get sick, it's like I'm the biggest baby ever. I can't do anything. So when I'm like homesick, I'm not doing my work. So then I get back to like being healthy and my brain fog is gone and you're bombarded with like 50 assignments. It's ridiculous. So 10th grade, I wrote in my notebook, more friends, more freedom. Okay, yeah. So the freedom part is like not being in the cohorts anymore. And we also got off campus, which that's another really nice thing about my high school. I'm so grateful for my high school. I'm a hater, I hate on it a lot, but we have some pretty crazy, amazing privileges. One of which is getting to go off campus and the town, the village town center area is max like 15-minute walk from the school. So we'd walk, we'd go get Dunkin', we'd go get Starbucks, Cafe Nero, like whatever. So that was really nice. And I'm trying to think what else. I guess the academics were like a little bit more challenging. I don't know. And then my friends, so I'd been diagnosed with OCD and anxiety at this point. I had just started taking medication. I think I started in like the spring of my freshman year. So I was feeling a little bit better mentally, a little bit more open. I love a fresh start. One thing about me, I love a fresh start. So 10th grade to me was like my fresh start. Ninth grade didn't happen. We're putting it out of my mind. It's a new year, new me. Um, and I did make more friends, and I made good friends, and I really started to connect more with teachers, connect more with just the school community, and feel a lot better. And that was good because it set me up for my favorite year so far, my junior year.